7 cents. That was the number that echoed in her head. Not loudly, not dramatically, just heavy. The auction wasn't chaotic. No shouting, no tension in the air, only boredom. The kind that turns people into objects. She stood there, barefoot on cold ground, feeling the dust stick to her skin. No one asked her name. No one wondered where she came from. They looked at her the way you look at something already decided. When the number was spoken, there was a pause. Not shock, not outrage. Disinterest. A few faces twisted into smirks. Someone laughed, short, careless, harmless to them. 7 cents meant one thing. She wasn't even worth arguing over. This wasn't fear yet. Fear comes later. This was realization. That moment when you understand the world has already placed you somewhere. That's not a metaphor. That's not symbolic language. That's the actual price. The auction wasn't loud. No dramatic music, no shouting crowds. Just bored faces, dusty air, and human lives reduced to inventory. Names didn't matter here. Stories didn't matter. Only numbers did. When her turn came, nobody leaned forward. No competition, no interest. Just a pause, the kind that tells you everything you need to know. 7 cents. A few people smirked. Someone laughed under their breath. Not because it was funny, because humiliation is easier to digest when it's cheap. This is where most stories would end. This is where the world expects the weak to disappear quietly. But this story doesn't move the way people expect. Because what broke her wasn't the chains. It was the certainty in their eyes. They knew she was nothing. She was bought not for strength, not for beauty, not even for use. She was bought because she was expendable. And here's the guards were careless, the fighters predictable, the crowd hungry. Not for justice, for blood. And slowly, almost invisibly, something shifted. She stopped fighting to survive. She started fighting to learn. Every blow became information. Every loss a map. The system that humiliated her had one weakness. It never imagined she was paying attention. By the time they realized, a quick match, easy money, something to warm the crowd up. Her opponent was bigger, more experienced, someone people already recognized. The odds weren't subtle. They were insulting. Nobody in that place believed she could win. Not the crowd, not the guards, not even the man standing across. The first hit landed hard, enough to remind everyone why the odds were what they were. The crowd relaxed. This was familiar, predictable. Then something strange happened. She didn't rush. She didn't panic. She didn't try to impress anyone. She waited. That waiting confused him. It confused the crowd too. In places like this, hesitation is supposed to mean fear, but this wasn't fear. This was timing. When she moved, it wasn't dramatic, it was precise. A step half a second earlier than expected. A strike aimed where he would be, not where he was. The sound changed, not louder, sharper. People leaned forward without realizing it. The second hit didn't knock him down, it made him angry. Anger makes people sloppy. That's when she saw it, the opening no one else ever bothered to look for. She took it. The impact wasn't beautiful, it wasn't cinematic, it was final. Silence hit the crowd before the body hit the ground. For a moment, winning was never the goal. Not for her. But it became a problem for them. Because systems can tolerate pain, they can tolerate cruelty, they can even tolerate death. What they can't tolerate is disruption. After that fight, nothing official changed. No announcements, no punishments, just adjustments. Her matches were scheduled closer together, less rest, stronger opponents. Coincidence, they called it, but patterns don't lie. Food portions shrank, medical care disappeared. The smallest mistakes suddenly had consequences. This wasn't revenge, it was correction. They weren't trying to kill her, they were trying to remind her where she belonged. And for a moment, it almost worked. Fatigue dulls focus, isolation amplifies doubt. At night, the question came back. Was that win a mistake? That's how control really operates, not through force, through exhaustion. But something had changed. Before, pain meant humiliation. Now, it meant confirmation. Every obstacle proved the same thing. They were paying attention, and attention is never wasted on the irrelevant. Other fighters noticed too. The looks lasted longer. After surviving, she thought it was over. She was wrong. Survival doesn't end the game. It only changes the board. Now the story wasn't about fighting. It was about perception. Whispers in the hall, rumors in the crowd. The people who once ignored her now looked differently. Some admiration, some fear, mostly confusion. They couldn't call her weak anymore, but they could tell the story differently. It wasn't her victory, it was luck, a fluke, something temporary. Every reporter, every recording rewritten, every image curated, every word adjusted. Her strength became her problem again. Not because she was less capable, but because her capability challenged the narrative. And narratives are everything. She felt it immediately, the eyes, the commentary, the subtle shifts. Even allies hesitated, even friends whispered doubts. The room held its breath. Everyone knew something had changed, not just in her, in the story, in the rules. Bendita stepped forward, calm, focused, every eye on her, every heartbeat echoing her own. This wasn't about luck, or chance, or someone else's mistakes. It was her move, her moment. She didn't shout, she didn't plead, she acted. A subtle glance, a calculated step, a tiny shift, and the whole room tilted. Conversations paused. Allies leaned in. Opponents faltered. The air crackled with tension, every mind guessing, doubting, calculating. Then the quietest sound, a whisper almost lost in the hum of anticipation. A decision, a choice, a victory. Not the kind you cheer for, the kind you remember, the kind that rewrites every expectation, the kind that turns whispers into awe. Bendita looked around. No applause,